I'm going to demo this game, Leave No Astronaut Behind. Patrick Barnes was the inspiration for this game, a guy that I was corresponding to on net. And it was a Mishap Genre, which is, sort of a generic term for any sort of sci fiction high tech, where in this case we're mostly struggling to try to get our suit repaired and get oxygen to move further through difficult terrains. It's 2-page role play. Now, 2-page role play, you have a player page. I'm going to play Bucky, and I have a certain amount of terrains that I'm going to cross. Now, all characters start in MIA status. I don't start with the good command and control status, but I'm going to play a tech ninja, and as a tech ninja, I can do anything by rolling 2 dice and taking the higher. However, if I try to search and destroy, it's going to be a 2 dice and take the lower. And ref, and we're going to just sort of spitball here for a bit and to test out the mechanics. I can, if I wanted to, as a referee, I could roll dice on each of these tables, and I think I did a longer video to represent that, but I'm just going to show you how you can do some freeform theater of the mind storytelling using these mechanics. So here I am. Thank you for No Man's Sky for the images. I woke up from a daze. I don't know if I fell out of a transport or I got blasted out of a cavern, but the last 24 hours were pretty hazy. My suit was not working properly. I was suffering from oxygen deprivation. I knew I had to get back someplace, but I had no idea where I was. I could tell that these creatures that were floating in the air, the birds life of the low-gravity planet, that I was probably close to my base and my rendezvous point, but I checked my status and I was no longer connected online to my comrades or to the corporation that was funding me here. This was going to get tough quick. I advanced out of the veil that I was originally in. I saw an automated robot drone walking around. That would be a good way that I could replenish my oxygen, but suddenly something came out of the ground. It was huge. It had crab-like appendages, and it started to come and attack me. So at this point I'm going to make a player roll of search and destroy. Now that's 2 dice and take the lower. Now I look over here and I also go, with observe and react, 1 die. I can get defensive posture and eliminate an alien crab threat. I'll roll the 1 die instead of the 2 die. And a 3. A 3 is going to be silent running. So I would normally change the MIA status, but I can also interpret that, that I got away from the situation. If I wanted to press my luck here, I could try to kill it. Maybe I should, just for the integrity of the game. Back on observe and react. I could also maybe get do something anything here and get my change to CC status. That would help me with a +1 of the dice. Why don't we start with that? I knew I had to get back on with comms. I had no idea what this creature was, and I needed some intel on what the heck had happened. 6 and 2 gives me a CC status, so now I'm +1 to all my dice. It's going to help a little bit. I looked at the thing, and I suddenly realized that my computer was back online. I must have gotten close enough. Now, this is Bucky reporting. What happened to you guys? Bucky, we thought you were dead. Well, not. What is this, going to be some sort of Matt Damon movie going on here? You guys going to come back and get me? We can't, we're off planet. You've been gone for 3 weeks. 3 weeks? What the hell have I been living on? Probably your bioconverter for all we know. Yeah, there's one last drone that's going to blast off from the other side of the planet. You need to get there. Well, why can't you come back and get me? You're not worth it. Corporation says you're dead. You're already listed as dead. The paperwork to try to find you, much too excruciating. What are these crabs that are flying all around? Oh, yeah, that's why we bugged out. That's what happened to you. We went into that cavern, looking for spices. Yeah, that's what we call just the heavier metals that we were looking for on the planet. We were looking for spices, and suddenly we opened up some cavern, and the things must have been in a hyper spawn session. Boy, they are everywhere. Are they dangerous? Yes. Enough that we thought you were dead. Oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? I quickly boogalooed out of there. Found that night was falling. Night, you normally get the predators. I saw one on the periphery here, but as long as you're not too antagonistic to them and don't get too close, they're like bears. You just keep out of their way and you'll be fine. Now I could go over and I could make a roll of maybe observe and react to get away from there. I have the command and control status, and that gives me +1 to the die. How about if I roll 1 die and observe and react to try to get away from this critical trouble? And a 4 becomes a 5. It's a delay. It happens again. I'm going to treat 6s, treat my 5s as 6s, but I added crabs. I tried to get away from the beast, and unfortunately I was paying more attention to the beast than I was to the insect life that was spawning. I ran right into a patch of them, and now I was in trouble. So I can observe and react and try to get away from the alien threat. I could possibly try to use an ad hoc roll since I'm playing solo, but no, the integrity of the game says that I should be rolling a d6, observe and react. If I rolled search and destroy to outright kill this bug nest, it would be 2 die 6, but I'm taking a lower. I'm rolling 1 die, adding 1 to get away from the crabs. 5 becomes a 6. I have gotten away from the alien crab threat. I knew I was running out of time. Luckily, the spin cycle on this thing was like being in a dryer. The days came so fast, you couldn't even calculate whether or not you were which hour, which day you were. At least my chronometer I put as a countdown timer. I knew I had some time left. Gosh, how was I going to get across this expanse? Did I even know where I was? I needed some map data, and I needed it quick. Now, map data. Do something, anything, and maybe get some map data here. I'm going to roll 2 dice and add 1. I'm not rolling a triple dice. I don't have the satellite data. Here comes the 2 dice and add 1. 6, 7. 7 is a critical trouble. I passed again. I managed to extract some oxygen, much needed oxygen, from some of the rock formations in the area, and I didn't see any predators, and I didn't see those crabs. Although that little thing on the horizon I knew was a puffer. I wanted to stay away from that. Just obnoxious little things that grab ammonia from the air and concentrate it, spit it at you. Ah, finally, this can help out. Looked like some sort of abandoned communications center. Even if it was autopilot, at least I could get there and get a respite. I made a mad dash over to it. When I got inside, I realized, all this stuff was shutting down. I could try to reboot it, start it back up, put it back on solar. I could live here for the rest of my life, but boy, the prospect of it all. It was a pretty planet. Although, if it was going to be overrun by crabs, I knew I had to move on. Now, I could go over here and try to make a critical insight to see if I decide not to gut it out, but it's pretty clear by the scenario I'm playing that I would move on. If you're playing with other players, you can, if you're having a good time bantering back and forth, there's no reason to force the dice rolls. If you're playing with wargamers, make sure you're adding lots of crab encounters in order to have sate their desire to roll a lot of dice. I brought up a map at the last research center I was. It'd be a long jaunt, but if I ran it quickly in the low gravity, bounded my way across the planet's surface, I could make it to another station. These seem to be dotted every regular intervals. A little bit tough on my joints, but I think I could make it. Now, this would be a bounding advance type of thing, and this I should probably do to make sure. Now, I won't roll on observe and react. I'm going to go on a do something anything and see if I can make a critical deed to avoid the critical trouble and also gain oxygen here. Now, normally, if I was playing this with a group of players who are going to have a much greater advantage than solo play, by rolling the 6+, you only get to pick one of those. But here, where I'm doing it solo, I will probably just say that I can get enough of the oxygen in that base. I can repower my suit in that little base to make the next run. That is assuming that I can make a dice roll. And a 3. Now that 3, even with the CC status, becomes a 4. Oh my gosh, my tool is surged. Wow. I need to get back online quickly. Plus it caused calamity, and that calamity is going to mean that I've got... I'm going to have more crabs, or I'm going to have a secondary obstacle, or I'm going to exhaust my laser pistol. I'll exhaust my laser pistol. I'm probably not going to use it, since I doubt, as a tech ninja, that I'm going to have to do search and destroy, although I'm putting myself in a world of hurt here. Now I'm running without a laser pistol. Rolling again on the do something anything? I can't. I got a tool surge. I got to correct that with critical insight. Let me roll 1 die and add 1. A 4. Satellite data. As I got closer to the base, I realized that that I could use the base's satellite data as a amplifier and be able to get more information on the terrain that I'm dealing with. 3 dice 6 I'm rolling now, and I could roll 3 dice 6 on do something anything. I could roll 3 dice 6 on observe react. I could roll 3 dice 6 on search and destroy, but I'm taking the lower die there. At least here, rolling 3 dice 6, it's going to be a good advantage, and I've still got the CC status. I haven't lost it yet. 3 dice, rolling the trifecta. 6, 6, 3. Well, I'm only going to take one of those dice, but it's the critical insight I need to correct the tool surge that I suffered. But I'm still not out of the dark here. I could fiat it and say that I'm trying to do a quick video here and I'll move on to the next objective. But I'm going to make one more roll on do something anything, especially since I'm still 3 dice in this scene, in this terrain. Let me roll 3 dice and see what I can get. A 5 plus a 1 plus the 1 for CC status. I got that critical deed. I managed to get to the base, replenish my oxygen, I find a new battery for my suit, and I headed out again. Damn, I forgot about this. The lakes on the planet, there was some sort of ammonia wash. It wasn't pure ammonia, but it was some sort of ammonia alcohol base. I'm not a chemist, so I'm not going to worry about what it actually called. We called it just Drano. If I'm going to move through this Drano, it's loaded with bacteria that eats the stuff too. It's going to be difficult to get across, and I can't delay to clean my suit. I'm going to hope that my suit has enough integrity that I'm not going to just freeze to death in this stuff. And I'm rolling. Does that do something anything? Maybe a critical insight to first get past it, but I'm going to say it's a critical deed. And we're going to try to get across here. Let me roll some dice here. Always back to rolling dice. I'm rolling 2 dice. I don't roll 3 dice. I moved the scene, so I'm no longer have that advantage of having the satellite data. So let me roll 2 dice here. 2 dice, do something anything. A 5 plus my CC status. It's a critical deed. A critical trouble. I will go ahead and cross this area and I crossed the area realizing that the organisms in here were the least of my concern. I'm not overly panicked. If I don't make my deadline, I'm going to really be in trouble. I wonder what I'd like living here alone the rest of my life. It would basically suck. Wow, how far away was this thing? At least now my visor was starting to work. I had a little bit of a signal telling me where I was headed. That means I was at least closer. Gosh, this was difficult terrain. Palm trees growing almost near vertical and horizontal out of the side of ridges that were nothing but loose gravel. It was a pain to cross. Now, if I wanted to be mean on myself, I could make a search and destroy to try to find a path through here. But if I were to do that and roll 2 dice and take 1 better, I will test roll it just to give you an example of this. But don't hold me to the actual result. 2 dice, taking the worst, but adding 1. See, now this case, I would be rolling, you'd think that's 6, but I gotta take that 1 and it would become a 2. I would hyperventilate and treat the next 2 on the table as a 1, which could possibly kill me, and I would need more oxygen. So let's say I made a mistake like that and it's looking for a different path instead of just jetpacking over it. Now I'm going to do something, anything, to try to get myself some oxygen to replace my loss. Oh, that was stupid. I got tangled in the trees. I ended up getting lost. I just wasted time. I should have just gone right airborne and tried to get through here. I didn't have a whole lot left in my pack, but I was going to use it up right here. 2 and a 6. In this case, because I'm on a Tech Ninja rolling on a do something anything roll, I'm going to get 2d6 and take the higher. That's 6. And also because I have CC status, it becomes a 7. So I got out of this obstacle. I got all over the ridge and I had a clear path toward home. What could stop me ahead? Hey, there they are! Oh wait, those are unmanned drones. Gosh, if I could bring one down, it would certainly make this trip a lot easier. I tried to enter communications with some of the drones and get them to land, or at least refill my jetpack fuel. Let's see if I can make a roll for that. Do something, anything, observe and react. Probably do something, anything, get a critical deed, end a critical trouble, end an obstacle. 2 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice, 3 and 2, 3 and 2 plus 1, gonna be a 4. Tool surge. As I tried to contact the drones, the worst of the worst happened. My computer went down. I'm suffering now from tool surge. Oh gosh. I didn't bother to clean it up right away. I figured I was too close to the objective. If the drones were there, I could push on. Famous last words, right? You know, at times you look at this planet and you go, why do I really want to leave it? Besides the fact that if I stay outside, my skin will burn off. I can't breathe the air. It certainly is gorgeous. And these things, I don't know what the heck they are. We've never even figured them out. Some sort of alien tech. Tells us we're not alone in this universe, but damned if we've ever found anything yet. And what powers it? We tried to take one apart, but whew, that's how we lost Max. No roll there. I don't need to investigate that. That would just be color to talk about. I was daydreaming. I shouldn't have been thinking about aliens and how beautiful the planet is. I walked right up on it. It walked right up on me. I don't know which was more surprised, me or it. But suddenly, it wasn't going to defend its territory, and I would have to defend my ability to live. Observe and react. I can kill an alien crab with that. I can also say that this is critical trouble. I can also get rid of critical trouble with doing anything. Maybe I should vet my... I had just a little bit of my jetpack fuels left. And I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 dice and eliminate the critical trouble. Now, should I say that this is the equivalent of an alien crab threat? That the alien crab threat is sort of a generic term for whatever sci-fi monster I'm facing? Well, I could. Let's try that. So the generic sci-fi monster I'm facing is alien crab threat, so I'm going to go ahead and roll 1 die and observe and react, and add 1 to my die, a 6. I'm getting some good rolls here, I mind you. Now, statistically, I could have been dead 1,000 times over, but sometimes when you play a game, it helps to be lucky. I managed to vent what was left of my jetpack in its face. I just felt bad about killing the thing. The planet has apex predators like most, a whole ecosystem that I wish I could take time and study, but I couldn't. I had to get away. Maybe look at my notes and all the video I'd take. I got the thing to run off. It wasn't hungry enough this day, I guess. Oh my gosh, is that a crab? That is the biggest crab insect I think I've ever found. These things must be growing. Oh my god, the small insects we thought we released are going to become mammoths in size in a short time. Suddenly I realized this wasn't one sci-fi movie I thought I was playing in, running in, escaping from. It was the ugly one. It was the alien horror one. Alright, let me see if I can beat this. Now again, there are 2 different ways to beat these alien crab threats. You cannot just sort of fiat and say that I'm gonna grab this extra laser pistol and do something to anything. This is not freestyle roleplay. Freestyle roleplay is take your abilities and adapt them to the situation creatively. And it's a fun game system, but this is a little bit more structured. And in this structure, it's checks and balances. And the best guy doing search and destroy to kill monsters is going to be heavy spec. And that is the total opposite from me as being the do something everything guy. Now, I can, though, as a fiat, use my observe and react, and I can end critical trouble, and I can also escape and end an alien crab threat. I may not be blasting the thing, which I doubt I am, because you remember I don't have a laser pistol. That laser pistol, that lack of a laser pistol, would give me -1 on search and destroy, so I'd be rolling 2 dice, taking the lower, subtracting 1, and am I still on MIA status? I think I was on CC status. Yeah. I'll give myself the benefit of the doubt. But even then, plus and minus, 2 dice take the lower. Wow, looking for a 6? That's a 1 in 36 chance. That's not going to happen. Not likely. Let me roll on this reserve and react and see if I can escape this crab threat. Here comes my die roll. A 4. 4 becomes a 5. Add more danger of crabs. I got to escape 2 crab threats. All right, let's get the first one escape. But at least I'm treating 5s as 6s. Here comes my die roll. Suddenly I realized the thing had a mate. I had no idea of its gender, but I just assumed it was a mate. And a 3. A 3 becomes a 4. That's a good roll. Suddenly now I got satellite data. I'm rolling 3 die 6 and taking the better on this table. Excellent. The computer popped on again. Boy, you know, this thing was as intermittent as a Microsoft operating system, but at least it was here when I needed it the most. Here comes my die rolls. I'm rolling 3 dice to try to get out of this situation. A 3, 5, and a 5. I'm adding 1 for CC status. That is going to give me an end one of the 2 alien crab threats, and go into my 3 dice again. 2, 6, 1, adding 1 is a 7. Ended the second alien crab threat. Now, if I had made a mistake in this video, you know, forgive me. I normally would use like little placards or keep some better notes here, but again, I'm trying to keep the length of videos small. If you want to put something in the remarks section that, hey, you cheated us as gamers, you were in MIA status, I could have just started this or gone into this with the do something anything and had my instead of having that initial delay for the crabs, I would have been at satellite data to begin with, and then I would have rolled do something anything to change my status to CC. I got past 2. I think I've played a pretty worthy game here, getting across this planet. I'll let it sink in for a moment. No. That's a good thing. That's a beast of burden. I raised my hand and waved hi to one of my allies across the field. They decided they'd come back for me anyway. Damn corporation, who cares? It's buddies in the field when all is said and done. Well, that's an example of how you play Leave No Astronaut Behind, Mishap Genre, and I played that solo. You can certainly play that with a group, and there's examples that I have online. More later.